we've got a little dart back, and like most of my planes, it's been modified. So what we got in the back here is we've got a 2550 kV motor, and that's a 2205 running a 6-inch prop. You'll notice the motor mount, it's one of those Hobby King motor mounts with the timber. It slots in there really well. What I found, and it may be a part of the problem with the wobble I had up, which may not have just been me, I'd like to blame something else. The motor mount was a bit flimsy and it caused the motor to wiggle waggle in the back there, so I've stopped that. It's added a little bit of distance on the back here with the motor mount. You can see there that on the angle it is, that's sort of straight and level, so it's kind of pushing down a bit. It is sitting up a bit with the wings there, you can see that. I've had to glue one of the rudders in purely for the fact that I broke it off and it tore the magnet out, and you can't glue the magnets back in. I find that for some reason try to glue them with hot glue and it becomes an issue. Running with a little 1000 4-cell, 30 amp ESC, and I've got some sinkers in the nose there, so it balances out pretty well. Where's the CG on that? It's a little tad nose heavy, but it's kind of not really nose heavy, and I don't know. I flew it when I first got it and it flew okay, and then I had some issues with it. It wouldn't fly properly. Now here we are again. So we've got up and down and all around when you look from behind. Over that way, up and down. And we have got a fair bit of So I got a fair bit of up there. So just not going to throw it as hard with as many revs. Well, that was a bit arse twitchy. Might just slow that down a tad. So those ailerons are really sensitive, like clitoris sensitive. I've got a fair bit of upheld here.
3 hours, 59 minutes.
Thank you. And with that little 4-cell, I've got probably about half throttle there. So I'll keep a few mistakes high. This is a bit twitchy. Oh, my heart's still beating. I really hate smashing planes. Been here 10 minutes and this is number 2. So pretty happy with that, but it's just not trimmed and flying the way I'd like it to, because I've got a fair bit of up to hold into that. So we'll bring him in and we'll try and see if we can outmaneuver that sensitivity. I've got to hold a lot of up, so I need more up, which is kind of unusual. It's probably because the motor's pulling it down. But my ailerons are too sensitive, so we might dampen the ailerons and see how we go. So I was running with, I'll take that out of there so you can see it. I was running with 75% aileron throw with an Expo of 50. and same with the elevator. I've taken that down to 55 now and left the Expo at 50. I'm hoping that helps. I'm hoping that up, because geez, I tell you what, it needs a fair bit of up this plane, and I think it's because the motor's trying to push it over. You can see there how much it's sort of pushing that up. But anyway, we'll see how we go again. That's a bit better. So that's exactly how I thought this thing would run. That seems to be the perfect setup for me. Thank you. So that wiggle waggle must have been the motor sort of wobbling around, the wiggle waggle wobble, which ended up in disaster. So that's a fair bit of up, isn't it? That motor, that motor's a really nice motor. I fly them on my quads. That's my spare one. I think that Expo's a little bit too much. It's just taken too long to respond. So probably 30%, so I'm, yeah. We might bring him back in and put the Expo down a bit, because the 50%, like yeah. So the
3 hours, 58 minutes.
So the controls are fine. It's just the amount of Expo. I got 50%. It just means that when I start to move, it takes a while for the plane to react, because that exponential curve is fairly flat around the center because of the percentage I've got. So we'll drop that down to 30, which is kind of what I'm used to. The reason I put it up to 50 was because when it did that wobble thing, I thought I might have been moving the sticks too much, so I tried to dampen that out. So we'll, I can't see and do that at the same time. So we're at 30% from 50, and we'll see how we go with that. Add a bit of weight to the nose. Oh, that's flying nice for me now. Still not real good with the down, because I got so much up I can't have the down. But mind you, I might have to increase the throws. But having said that, that's hands off. Not that you can see that. But I kind of adjust how much up I'm going to get with the power. And again, I'm happy with the power there, with the 6-inch prop, the 2550 kV motor, and the 30 amp ESC. And that's kind of about half rate. So I bet we give them a bit of a punch out, eh? I don't want to kill it. It's a nice little model. And I do want to FPV it. And I'm not going to do any silly aerobatics with it yet. Not till I run a few batteries through it. Because I did that the other day. like second battery in, and just kills me. Jesus, the flies. Well, I'm really happy with that.
Hours, 57 minutes.
She tends to want to nose down a bit when you turn. See? No, oh, you probably can't see that. But... So the whole idea is just to have a nice little slow poker. Pretty happy with that.
Hours, 56 minutes.
It's a nice day tomorrow like this. We'll FPV it. We'll stick the gear in it tonight. Oh, what a top morning. This is probably one of the best mornings we've had this year. Absolutely no wind. Nice and warm. Lots of flies. That makes it just a bit more awesome.
Hours, 55 minutes.
I'm finding now with the elevator, I'm having to sort of find that it's not as responsive, so I probably need to take it down from that 50 down to 30. Jesus, these fucking flies.